Hey, I don't understand you movie. I don't understand you. Oh man, this is a tough one. Here it is, Pride Month, and I'm about to review an LGBTQ plus film that I actually hated. I don't like doing this. It's painful, but it's kind of painful to watch. We're talking about I Don't Understand You, which opens on June 6th, 2025. It is written and directed by real life married couple David Joseph Craig and Brian Crano, and it's based on their own experiences to a point where they took a baby moon trip to Italy uh, before they were able to surrogate parent a child. They took one last hurrah going overseas, and things went terribly wrong. And in the case of the film, things go way worse than it did in real life. And that's where some of the problems lie. So we have Nick Kroll as Dom and his husband, Cole, played by Andrew Rannells. And they are using a surrogate, played by Amanda Seyfried, who is interviewing different couples, trying to decide who the best fit is, and she lands on them. And so they get on an airplane and they take off for Italy for that one last chance, as I said. And things went wrong with this film right away for me. And this is really nitpicky, but as soon as they got on the plane, these semi-affluent LA gays, they're flying business class, but it's a really old plane and the seats don't lie flat. They're just kind of old and janky. Now, probably production just could only afford the fuselage set that they had, but I just kept thinking, there is no way this couple would fly on this plane. They would look for a much more premium jet experience. And because it's not discussed, I think there's like a little disconnect going on right away. Because I think they could have solved it easily by just saying, oh gosh, we ordered the, upscale model. What's going on here? But it's just not even mentioned, and it just looks kind of cheap and tacky. Small nitpick aside, they arrive in Italy, and for almost the entire first hour of the film, they're kind of touring around and they're planning this dinner that a friend of theirs recommends to them that's off in the countryside. And they eventually arrive at this inn. And we're talking literally like 45, 50 minutes into the film, it felt like at least. And there's this elderly woman who's the proprietor, and she's excited to have them. It's a rainy night. Before they arrived there, they got stuck in the mud. They had bad directions, and they got stuck, and eventually somebody gave them a ride to this restaurant. And everything seems a little off, and they're not able to speak Italian. Most of the problems in this movie arise from them not being able to speak the language. And so murderous things start happening. And they're kind of accidental, but Dom and Cole's responses to things is what really put me off, because they always feel justified in their actions, knowing that, that person probably didn't deserve to be killed. But we're just doing everything to create a nice little family, and we're going to raise that kid, and everything's going to be great. But they make no attempt, like not using Google Translator, not miming things, not writing things down, drawing pictures, nothing. It's like, okay, movie, you're kind of losing me here. And while Nick Kroll and Andrew Rannells are really good together, and they give good performances, they're both tamped down from their usual kind of manic comedic sensibilities. And I quite like them. Together, they are a believable couple. Nick Kroll isn't doing the overacting, over-gaying it up, if you know what I mean. And Andrew Rannells, who is usually like really out there, just, look at his performance on Girls, for example. He's also pretty grounded. And that's to their credit, to the filmmaker's credit. However, their behavior just had me nonplussed. And I was wondering, like, what is this movie trying to say? Is it trying to say that we're going to root for these folks who have the fight in them, and that'll make them good parents? Or, as the press release for this film said, is it about just gay people are terrible? because that's kind of what you get out of this, that they're kind of awful people who you wonder, like, are they going to suffer any consequences? Does this affect them moving forward? Are they going to be good parents? I kind of wanted to call Child Protective Services on them, to be honest with you. But while their performances are good, and Morgan Spector does a really nice supporting turn as the son of the restaurateur, he's from the Gilded Age, and he's completely different in this, playing this very Italian guy named Massimo. Amanda Seyfried literally phones in her performance. You just see her on an iPhone the entire film, or on a laptop, and she's just there, and she's fine. She does, nice work as someone who is hesitant about having a child and giving up her child and making sure she's making the right decision. But this film just really lost me. And I know there will be people who think it's a wild ride, and it is, but it's always a matter of tone. I love these types of movies, these big swings, these satires. Take Serial Mom, for example. So Kathleen Turner is the serial killer, but you kind of root for her because she kills people who don't recycle, kills people who don't rewind their VHS cassettes. Remember when we had VHS cassettes? And so the tone of it is satirical in the sense that, yeah, I can get behind that. I would love to see a movie where someone just kills bad drivers. That would really float my boat. But that's not what we have here. And I kept on thinking, had Craig and Crano stuck to their original story without embellishing it with murders, just these two gay guys who are on this vacation where everything kind of goes wrong, you would have had like the gay version of The Out of Towners. And I'm talking about the great 1970 version. That's the Neil Simon film. Arthur Hiller directed it, starred Jack Lemmon and the great Sandy Dennis. I'm not talking about the remake from 1999 with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn, which was not good. But this could have been the gay Out of Towners. And I think it would have been a little bit of a gem, more so than what we get here. We just get these weird mixed messages. And I know they're trying to make sharp satirical points, but you still have to be grounded in reality to some degree, or you want us to root for our characters. And if we're not rooting for them, then these consequences, what happens to them doesn't quite land. And I just left this with a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. And I think that might have been what they wanted, so mission accomplished. But it just, it's a no. It's a no. I'm going to hate on this one. I'm sorry. Did you see it? Are you going to see it? I'd love to hear from people who loved it and can defend this, because I think there are points to be made. This isn't a complete abject failure, but I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Please give me a like and subscribe, and later, haters.